Well, good morning and welcome to week 3 of the Principles of Marketing. I'm Rod Ballard, your instructor for the course. And by now, you know where to look and find your assignments for this week in the weekly Learning Activity Center and how to submit the completed work. Week 3 has you continue with the textual reading from chapter 7, 8, and 9. So let's take a flyover of chapter 7. There's really no excuse for the ready, aim, fire approach to product development and marketing in general. Too much data exists today, and proven ways to measure, validate, and act upon consumer data, for example, is ample. Marketing decision-making today must include what the numerical data says and what it doesn't say. The text discusses 5 steps in marketing, although in the real world, there may be more or fewer steps depending upon the size of the company, the products, the markets, historical data, and customers. Marketing and new product development begin with defining the problem. What's the big deal about the product, the products plural, and how does it solve customer problems? This will be why the market either floods to your new product or they yawn and say, so what? Defining the research plan, what to do and how to do it, is necessary regardless of the size and the scope of the project. Collecting relevant information is essential. It does no good to discover extraneous information from a focus group, for instance, interesting as it may be. The goal is to capture useful data to the planned marketing strategy. Once the data is collected, analyzing the data provides the needed information to make decisions. The saying, measure everything, includes believing the results of the analysis, whether you like them or not. Finally, taking action and evaluating results is what the goal of marketing research has been from the start. Should we develop and introduce this product? Which consumers are going to buy it? Who will we compete with? And what are the target consumers using now? What is the price point that will be necessary to succeed in the market? And are the margins on the prices, do they meet our margin budgets and expectations? What are the peculiar or unique requirements we must include? And what differentiating benefits of the product makes our product better than the others? And there's nothing to it, really, as you can see. Actually, there is. You ever try to get 3 or 4 people to agree on where to have lunch or what movie to see? Just about anything. People have preferences. They also have similar needs and interests and preferences. This becomes effective marketing research's focal point. The proverb, he who tries to please everybody pleases nobody, is true for the most part. Effective marketing realizes this and avoids the trap by carefully defining the target market. Who are the consumers in the target markets that will purchase our products, and of course, why? Primary data is the most reliable but expensive form of data acquisition. It permits probing into reasons and rationales behind consumer feedback during a survey, for instance, and it's very time-consuming. Secondary data, on the other hand, is existing information from earlier studies that may be blended into the primary data to reach a more accurate research conclusion and leading to better decision-making. Gathering data sometimes is as simple as asking people questions. At a trade show, for instance, company personnel in a display booth talk with passers-by, asking questions about the company, products, advantages, and of course, what's new. Being prepared in advance helps booth personnel ask the right questions about actual or potential uses of the products and a beneficial determinant in what will happen if you develop a new product for a particular industry or set of end users. Will they buy it? In face-to-face interviews or surveys or questionnaires and focus groups, which the passers-by at the trade show are part of, existing users of the existing products and what they'd like to see in the next generation of products. Does it mean they'll purchase the products come time? Absolutely not. This is why trade show booth personnel ask the questions directly. If we build it, will you buy it? Pricing feedback is very valuable too. Social media is very effective and affordable way to capture a lot of data at a low cost. The reliability of the data comes into question with the spam and bots and other sources of misinformation that flow on the internet. Still, social media questionnaires and surveys and such are blended with panels and other data collection practices that allow quantitative analysis to complement the qualitative data collected through surveys, panels, focus groups, and face-to-face discussions. Liars figure and figures lie is a saying, and sometimes true, and we probably all see it from time to time. Politics and used cars come to mind for me. Data mining and collection processes can yield a lot of data quickly. What to do with it becomes the question. Sort the valid from the invalid data. Combine like data from different data. That is, similarities and dissimilarities. Doesn't mean you don't build a product around likenesses only. Before and during the market research, data analytics experts are on staff or subcontracted. They review the gathered data using very sophisticated methods and techniques to determine just what the data actually means. And the operative word is actual, because there's an eagerness by marketing teams to get going with the project. Patience is important, along with evaluations from multiple stakeholders, will help pause or shut down the product development should the data not support going forward with them. Always less expensive to shut a project down than build the wrong product at the wrong time. For example, I was a marketing manager with a leading radio communications company known for great marketing and great products. I designed and sold a wide area law enforcement radio network, sophisticated. The voice, video, and data is seamlessly communicated from point to point and station to station and car to car. The radios, of course, had an on-off switch, very often a circular knob, at least in the 80s, and today we might have a push button or some other activation process. So we build the products and we install hundreds of radios in police cars, all scheduled to be cut over, as we would say, or turned on at the same time, turning off the old system and turning on the new system. Top-notch engineers back at headquarters took the on-off switch literally, precisely. So designing the turn on and off now, the knob turned to the left. If you wanted to turn it off, you turn it to the left. And there's a click that lets you know, it's a tactile feel that you feel that you've actually turned it all the way to the left and you've turned it off. The radio's turned on, but, and here's a big but, the industry existing radios and many electronics with knob actuators have the on-off switch turn on when the knob is turned to the right, clockwise. The click is there, too, indicating that the switch is in the right position. Okay, left should be the off position. Turning counterclockwise to the left turns the radio off. Turning the round knob to the right, clockwise, turns the radio on. Well, we literally had this backwards because the engineers took on, off, meaning on would be left and off would be to the right, and they didn't tell anybody. So guess what? Nearly every user turned the knob clockwise into the off position and then began trying to speak with one another, send data, and so forth, and nothing but silence, crickets. Hundreds of police cars were literally out of service.
Alert from low battery.
Because of a counterintuitive on-off switch that the engineers thought would be corrected just by putting it on and off. That's it. So we corrected the problem as quickly as possible, and the radio operators used the new radios as they were. And today we download a patch or a software upgrade and solve the problem instantly. Oh well, we live and learn. We finally got it right. And finally, sales forecasting is a natural tension between most sales and marketing teams and managers and executives. Marketing wants more products sold at higher profit levels, and sales wants the same thing if customers in the market indicate that the forecast levels can be achieved. We called it stretch budgeting. And come on, guys, you can sell more. You guys are pros. Well, I preferred the reach out for reality approach because sales has to live with the eventual sales forecast, or budgets as we call them, come next year, for instance. Income, bonuses, upward mobility, even employment continuity all rested on hitting your numbers. So we learn in the text about gathering sales performance data from existing customers, sometimes using customer relations management CRM tools, which is the repository of customer data, including purchases over time, order histories, known projects, or wholesale replacements where the consumer is going to take out an entire system, for instance, or take out a competitor and put us in and deploy another, usually a big deal, very competitive, and it's a winner-take-all proposition. When we're aware of the project, marketing counts on it as done, and forecast goes up accordingly. Sales knows it'll be a battle, and margins will slide based on the volume of the products and the reaction to the competitive pricing. It's a slugfest. There's no guarantee that we're going to win it, although marketing is taking it to the bank. Sales is just working it out, trying to make sure that it comes to the home team. Marketing doesn't want to hear about that. After all, professional salespeople can stress value and advantages to overcome price objections. Not always. Seldom for the same or like products. So there's one point of tension. This is just one point of tension. Sales sandbags and a slow or doesn't report the possible project. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But when it does, marketing is liable to take the actual plus approach to the following year's budget, not recognizing that the one-off, that is the project, is not repeatable, and the project revenue from one year, it's not going to transfer necessarily to the next. So if you had a budget of $1 million in this year and you got a project and you came in at $1.2 million, and that's great, well, next year the starting point becomes $1.2 million and there's something added to it, say the $300,000, so now it's $1.5 million. But the project that got you over quota the previous year isn't necessarily repeatable. Marketing, conveniently sometimes, doesn't understand that. So more tension between sales and marketing. This is the tip of the iceberg. Sales budgeting or forecasting may be the annual apex of decision making between sales and marketing.